Hi, our topic is advances in blockchain security, and our focus is authentication about private key protection. So, what is blockchain? In general, blockchain is a list of blocks where each of them is linked to its previous one, and the structure of blockchain is shown in the diagram. Each block consists of some data, for example, the transactions, and also some information about the previous blocks. Blockchain can be seen as a decentralized distributed database which is used to store data, but in a different structure compared to any modern database systems. Blockchain has 5 key characteristics. First, decentralized. There's no central organization to control or manage a blockchain. Blockchain is managed by nodes in the networks, and there is an algorithm to ensure its consensus and honesty. Distributed. Each node in the network maintains a copy of blockchain, and one can access to it. As is mentioned previously, they have the way to keep its consensus. It's transparent. Blockchain can be seen as a public database, and one can access its data. And immutable. Once the data is expanded, nobody can modify the data. And for the anonymity, other data transferred or even transactions are anonymous. Only the address is known to the public. And the Bitcoin is a type of cryptocurrency, and it can be seen as a digital money or e-currency. This is where blockchain has been first proposed. And Bitcoin uses blockchain to store the coin transactions. All the transactions are signed under a digital signature, and in this case is ECDSA. The proof of work is used to keep the consensus of the entire network. In this presentation, we're focused on the authentication and security issues of blockchain with Bitcoin as the example. So the Bitcoin is an electronic coin, as explained before, and show in this diagram, there's no balance in the Bitcoin. It can be calculated from those transactions. Each owner transfers the coin to the next one by digitally signing the hash of the previous transactions and the public key of the next owner, so that a payee can verify the signatures to see the chain of ownership. Blockchain have 3 major security issues: authentication and security incidents, and 51% attack. Authentication is a common issue of most financial systems. In Bitcoin or even most cryptocurrencies, they use private key to authenticate the user. The private key protection becomes an issue in Bitcoin, since if a user lost a private key, then the user will lose everything. In reason, most users rely on the third-party wallet to protect their private keys used for money transfers. And for most transactions in Bitcoins, they rely on third parties. If those third parties are attacked, then their service will be unavailable. For example, the mining pools and currency exchanges. The blockchain mechanism is designed with the assumption that honest nodes control the network. If the attacker's nodes can control more computational power, say 51% of the total power available, the network is vulnerable to the network, so it's called 51% attack. In this presentation, we are focused on the private key protection issue. We need private key protection because the protect key is a major authentication element in Bitcoin or even in most cryptocurrencies. So there are 2 solutions to that. The first is a blue wallet, and next is 2-factor authentication. For the blue wallet, this figure, it uses the hardware that stores users' private key, and also using the Bluetooth Low Energy to connect devices with a mobile phone, the computer, or post terminal, and is able to securely sign the Bitcoin transactions so that the user's private key never leaves the device and only unlocks the key when the PIN is correctly entered. So that is a diagram for the blue wallet device. So it uses a BLE to reduce the power and use the coprocessor to calculate the keys to do the encryptions. So the steps are here. The first step is the POS terminal creates unsigned transaction, and it contacts the Blue Wallet terminal and transfer the transaction. So that is the real data, and how did it look like? And step 2, the Blue Wallet verifies the transactions. Once it's verified, it asks the tutor to enter the PIN so that it can get the private keys to sign the transaction. Once it's signed, it just take the transaction back to the POS machine. Once the POS machine verifies the transaction's address, inputs and outputs are unmodified so that the signature is valid. So it broadcasts the transaction to the entire Bitcoin network to update the transaction. So next is about two-factor authentication. What is this? That is about split the private key into two parts. The one share of the key is in the desktop wallet, another one is in the smartphone. So they don't need to physically recombine the full private keys with those two parts. It uses homomorphic cipher, which combine or virtually combine those two signatures or private keys, and it got zero knowledge proofs. About the zero knowledge proofs, it lets you to validate the truth of something without revealing how you know about the truth or sharing the content of truth to the verifiers. That means it takes some data as input and returns either true or false. And also it uses randomization of the signature sigma, and such a randomization prevents the information leak about one's private key. Okay, about the two factors authentication, the steps is first it creates the transaction TX, and then it creates a QR code for the smartphone to scan. Once the smartphone scans QR code, the TLS connection can be established so that computer can send the TX to the mobile phone, and the mobile phone display that for the user to confirm. Once confirmed, they use such a algorithm called ECDSA to encrypt the signature and send it back to the computer. The computer decrypts the signature and embed it into the TX and publish that into the entire Bitcoin network. This is evaluation of the Blue Wallet and two-factor authentication. The advantage of Blue Wallet is it has the perfect private key protection because it's never exposed to the network. And it got disadvantage because it used additional hardware, and also the user are required to securely store their pins. And also for the two-factor authentication, it has the advantage of the prevent private key attack because the private key is more difficult to store both segments. And for disadvantages, it's about less convenient because you need both computer and mobile phone to make such a transaction with the Bitcoins. And also, for the both segments of private keys are still vulnerable to malicious attackers. This is the reference we used in this presentation, and hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you.